It's the only surviving battleship that served in both World War I and World War II. Now there's new progress on work to make sure the Battleship Texas stays afloat for decades to come. State lawmakers have approved tens of millions of dollars to restore the ship, which served on the front lines of history. On June 6, 1944, the battleship's guns were the first to fire on the Nazis as the Allies attacked the beaches of Normandy. Then, in the Pacific theater, the ship supported the landings on Iwo Jima and Okinawa. After the war, Battleship Texas was designated a National Historic Landmark and became a tourist attraction at its berth at the San Jacinto Battleground site. But years of exposure to the elements took a toll, leaving the ship leaky and listing in dire need of extensive repairs. Now, the team leading those repairs says the battleship has been completely sealed from all leaks, a milestone in the restoration process. Daryl Matthews got on board and gives us a closer look at the work to save this historic ship.
At Gulf Copper in Galveston, you just don't see Battleship Texas. You feel it. The steel towers right over you. You can hear the welding filling the air. Several years in the making to completely restore an iconic piece of history, the Battleship Texas.
This ship is a microcosm of American society from 1914 really through today.
First launched in the early 1900s, this massive vessel served in both world wars, from the North Sea to Normandy and the Pacific. Meant to be a powerful naval weapon for sea control and providing essential naval gunfire support for sea invasions, the warship that bombarded beaches at D-Day will now be a walk-through preservation for education.
During World War II, all of these gun tubs, which are empty right now, there was anti-aircraft guns, so there was a constant swarm of activity on the ship, particularly during the later years of the ship's service life. We want the ship to be as alive as possible and to feel like it did, to the greatest generation, the guys who served on the ship.
I think it's very interesting, the history of the ship, and it's good to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Since 2022, crews with Gulf Copper and the Battleship Texas Foundation have been cutting away corroded steel, building new flooring for decks, and keeping history in time. The goal for this $75 million restoration project, to make this ship strong enough to last another century for generations to admire and learn from.
Our goal is to make the ship as alive as possible, and as immersive as possible, so that when you step on the ship, you feel like it was like what a sailor felt when he stepped on the ship.
Officials say they hope to finish all the major repairs and open to the public by late 2026, early 2027. They say until then, every weld being made is bringing this Texas legend back to its return.
That was Daryl Matthews reporting from Galveston. The cost to restore the battleship is projected to cost $75 million. Some of the funding comes from federal grants and from money raised by the nonprofit Battleship Texas Foundation. But more than $60 million of the cost came from funds approved by state lawmakers. In 2022, some of those funds helped pay for the ship to be towed from its longtime berth at the San Jacinto Battleground State Historic Site. Hundreds of people watched on shore as several tugboats escorted the ship to a dry dock in Galveston. The move was a key step toward extensive restoration work. More money approved by the ledge paid for repairs to the ship's hull. And earlier this year, lawmakers approved an additional $7 million to finish work on the deck and other renovations. The foundation hopes to finish work late next year. After that, it will be moved to a wharf in Galveston and reopened to the public. Thank you again for joining us for State of Texas. I'm Dylan McKim. We'll be back here next week to bring you an in-depth look at Texas politics.